So this right here is a hood anthem. What up, Texas? What up, Texas? What up, Texas?
Welcome and good morning, you beautiful bulldog people. Well, I should say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you decide to tune in to this. But welcome. It's your boy, Breezy, from Borderland Kennels. And we're going to go ahead and continue on today. Before we go on, I want to give a shout out to South Bottom Kennels. This was the second annual confirmation show that I had went to. And he's doing great things for the Bulldogs, so shout out to him. Also, you can hit him up for his hot heifer and stud up, so check that out. Quick shout out to APBT Radio and Kraken Kennels, Buck City Reloaded. Make sure you check them out. And of course, shout out to PINOLERO'S Kennels. Shout out to my partner F, you know what I'm saying? And here we go. What we're going to do today is sort of discuss the original breeding plan, then the actual breeding plan that happened to create the foundation, and we're going to go into the dogs that came off of that breeding. Explain how we ensured those dogs had the sauce. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get down into that. And then we'll explain how we're moving forward with the program and what came next. So, getting into a little bit of the backstory. If you haven't checked out the Achilles series episode 1 or the Able and Honeybun episode 2, make sure you go back and check those because it'll sort of bring this all together. So yeah, the episode 1 and episode 2, it ties everything together to what we're going to talk about today. Like I said, it's just going to go through, and we're going to go through and sort of figure out or explain how we got to where we're at now, and eventually we'll get to this little lady right here and explain how we got to this. You know what I'm saying? It's that Borderland Kennels bred puppy. This right here is Drusilla. I'm Drusilla. Vampire. Did that right, mama. So we're gonna go down the line, and we'll get to her way later. You know, so today we're gonna talk about the regional breeding plan and exactly the plan that happened that actually created the foundation yard. So with that being said, we're gonna jump down into it. Okay, so the original plan, as if you noted, if you got hit the last episode 2, the first 2 dogs acquired off of Achilles was Able and Honeybun. PINOLERO'S Able and PINOLERO'S Honeybun. Right? So, with that being said, we're going to dive into, that was going to be the original plan. Breed Able to Honeybun, which was going to be Achilles to Pepper. Pepper was real tight McCollum with an out of Hub Cities, Mexico. And Hub Cities, Mexico was basically a Carver dog through Martinez's truck and all of that stuff. Check it out. We broke that pedigree down in episode 2. And Honeybun was Champion Achilles bred to PINOLERO'S Shakira, and that was a tab out. So it would have been double bred on Champion Achilles with a pepper out and with tab out. And we went down through Honeybun's pedigree last as well too. So that was the original plan. And that would have been a great plan to start the foundation yard. But what happened was when Honeybun came into heat, Achilles was in the area. And PINOLERO allowed us to breed Honeybun back to her father. So this was the situation here. We had Honeybun bred to Champion Achilles, right? So with Honeybun bred to Achilles, we ended up with 5 dogs, and we're gonna get down into those dogs and how they begin the pet. We're gonna break down the pedigree so you can see how that looks, which you should know because if you checked out the first one, but we're gonna break it down again anyway. Then you know exactly where we're going from there, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up that pedigree. We'll probably use Junior, Achilles Junior's pedigree, but remember there's 5 dogs in that litter. I mentioned them there. We had Borderlands Miss Gemma, Borderlands Achilles Junior, and Borderlands Goldilocks. And then there were 2 other males, Raging Cajun's Charlie Brown and PINOLERO'S Grim, right? So that's where we're at right now. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. And without further ado, give me 1 second. We're going to get that pulled up. I'm going to put Drusilla up. Huh? Okay, right, mama. Want to say bye to him real quick, Drusilla? Huh? Say bye-bye, people. Say bye-bye. Drusilla, Borderland bred bulldog. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back and we'll break down those pedigrees. Okay, so Drusilla I put Drusilla out and another one started calling to come in, so I brought in Borderlands Onyx. This is Onyx. We'll get down to her pedigree later on down the line. It's really good. Turning out to be a nice little shaped bulldog. Beautiful attitude. Beautiful build. And we'll get to how she came about later on down the line. Go play, mama. But meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Achilles' pedigree. And we're going to, our Achilles Junior pedigree. And we'll see how the original plan was folded. And because Achilles was in the area, quit biting on me, we were able to go on with a different plan, which seemed to work out perfectly fine. So we're going to get into that. Give me 1 second. Cut it up. Cut it out, mama. So let's go ahead and jump into that pedigree. So we're going to use Achilles Jr., which is they're double bred Achilles dogs. If you take a look at it, we have went over Honeybun's pedigree, and going over Honeybun's pedigree, we're just taking it back to Champion Achilles. So this becomes a 3/4 McCollum bred dog, which in reality is Grand Champion Rowdy, Grand Champion Spanky, and it's 3/4 of that stuff, real tight. As you notice here, you see Black Talon right here. Midnight Cowgirl, Black Talon and Midnight Cowgirl, again, of course. goes back to some Carlito and Kazili, and then you have HONEYBUN, which is Black Talon, Midnight Cowgirl, and all real tight. So just a quick refresher on the HONEYBUN dog. It's all Rowdy and Grand Champion Spanky. Rowdy bred to a real tight Niggerino dude. So since Rowdy was off of Lucifer, you see that that was real tight on Kate's Cujo, right? And then Grand Champion Spanky, right there in the third generation of HONEYBUN two times, and then it has that little bit of out the Carver blood through Thurberville's, Maryland. Remember I told you she's a dog of note. So this is where the Niggerino and these dogs come from, through Black Talon, which was real tight on Kate's Cujo. And then the Spanky is right there. So Grand Champion Rowdy, Grand Champion Spanky. So if we go back, let's see. These dogs are real tight on that. Junior, excellent bulldog. We had Gemma and Goldilocks that stayed at Borderland. And then Junior's brother, Graham, is with Pinolero, and Junior's other brother is with Raging Cajun Kennels. And I have access to Graham constantly. And having access to Graham gives me more options when we're doing outs or crosses. And then I acquired a son of Charlie Brown. So all of their blood is still with Borderland Kennels. So me and my partner F, we have access. Well, Charlie Brown is kind of far, but we do have his son, and we'll get into him as we go down the line of how the offspring from these dogs were bred, and we'll go from there with it. So, like I said, these are 3/4 column and 1/4 tab, real tight PINOLERO'S honey rum, and they're all great bulldogs down the line. If you look at this pedigree, kind of everything you would want in your dog: multiple runs, multiple PORs, some W's, and then through the back there's some GC. It's Greasy Corner Kid at its finest, and with an out of Shakira. Remember we went over Shakira when we were breaking down HONEYBUN's pedigree. So this is basically how the foundation of Borderland Kennels came about. So again, we have Junior, Gemma, Goldilocks, Grimm, and Charlie Brown. And what we did from there was, after that breeding was done, we took a 5-year hiatus to ensure these dogs were bringing the traits. They had the sauce to move forward with the program. And that entailed by letting them grow up. And once they grew up, we're able to know exactly what we had. So the initial breeding was going to be Achilles, was going to be able to HONEYBUN, but we ended up going with Achilles to HONEYBUN, which was a father-daughter breeding. And that built the foundation of Borderland Kennels. And that is where we started at. And after ensuring those dogs had the sauce, we went forward with the program. And going forward with the program, of course, you remember going back to episode 2, you'll remember that we still had PINOLERO'S Able. So we had PINOLERO'S Able, which was one of my favorite dogs as well. And now we have Able, HONEYBUN. At this time of the program, we had Able, HONEYBUN, and then we had Junior, Gemma, and Goldilocks here, right? And then access to Charlie Brown and access or acquired a son off of Charlie Brown and access to Grimm. And that to me was a perfect foundation. 5 bulldogs, grown up, ensured their traits were there, and made sure that they were what we were looking for. They had the sauce. And having the sauce, remembering Shakira was there, there's a way to go that direction. Remembering Pepper, there's a way to go in that direction with them. But the base is Champion Achilles. And we'll explain where we went and why we went in the directions we went. What's up, mama? Huh? You don't like the camera? You don't want to be on the camera? And why we went the direction we went. And we'll explain how we go forward from there. We'll pull in some outs later on that we have here on the yard. And that we have a plan on doing. Are continuing the breeding. But yeah, this is Onyx. She's being shy. Why are you hiding your face? Huh? I don't. You bite me, huh? No, it's okay. With that being said, we'll jump down. I'm gonna pull up some pictures, show you Goldilocks, Gemma. We're gonna go over Goldilocks, Gemma next, and Junior. Goldilocks, Gemma, and Junior next, and exactly what we were doing with during that time of the program, and what we decided to do to bring them in. But first, actually, the next is gonna be how we introduced Abel into the base of the yard and what we got from that. And then from there we'll go on to, well, we went over the first breeding. Next we'll go over the second breeding. And then you'll see how we kept the base, how we continue to keep the base as Champion Achilles, and what we decided to do going forward. But that's basically it. So remembering, the first initial is Champion Achilles bred to his daughter, Honeybun, which created the foundation. Borderlands Gemma, Borderlands Junior, Borderlands Goldilocks, with PINOLERO'S Grimm, and Raging Cajun's Charlie Brown. Why are you chewing on my shirt? Huh? Why are you being a little asshole, mama? So, mama, really good little bulldog. I really like her. Ain't afraid of shit. Bold as hell. Attitude like she runs the world. Huh? That right. You don't run the shit in here, mama. But now that you understand how this was put together and why, or how our foundation was put together, it gives you a basic understanding of how we're gonna go forward, our basic understanding of the base of Borderland Kennel as we continue to go forward. Me personally, I'm sold on the Champion Achilles blood. Like I mentioned before when we talked about him, he was actually on his way to my yard. My transporter didn't make it before he passed. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But we'll continue to make sure his legacy lives on. He was a complete bulldog, and it seems that his traits passed down through generations and generations so far. I see it all the way down to Onyx, all the way down to Drusilla. The attitude of a bulldog, the likeness of Achilles, and there's some outs in Drusilla. There's some outs here in Onyx too. And as you can see, she look just like Achilles. She's a good little bulldog. Let me see. She's actually a 50-50. And we'll get into that when we get to her. No spoilers. No spoilers. Stay tuned and you'll see exactly where we're going with it. I might bring in some of the old ones. So y'all could see them. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Gemma. If y'all hold with me, I'll bring in Gemma so you can see live and in person the bulldogs of the foundation. She right now is almost 7, about to be 7. Give me 1 second, I'll bring her in. Okay, so this the old lady. This is Gemma, going on 7. So you can see she brings a good, a lot of, look, she's trying to attack herself and she see herself in the camera, in the video. But, stop it, Gemma, that's you. But this the old lady. As you can see, she resembles a lot of Achilles too. Even at her old age, she brought it forward. Say what's up, Gemma. Say what's up, mama. Good girl. Good girl, mama. But that's how this is the Borderland Bulldogs. And this is our old lady, one of the originals. Still here kicking. So is Goldilocks, so is Junior, so is Grim. And Charlie Brown is still kicking it too. Okay, so we went over the originals. We went over how they came about. How we scrapped the original plan because of our access to Champion Achilles, and showed a couple of the bulldogs. And yeah. So take this time, hit the like and subscribe, and keep going on with us. We're going to continue this over after we complete breakdown of the dogs on the yard. Then later on, maybe we'll get into some questions and answers. We'll get into some bulldog nutrition. We'll get into a whole lot of different stuff that we use here at Borderland Kennels to ensure that we continue with the healthy program. We'll also go over, break it down. By the time we finish with the dog pedigrees, I'll have a good idea of where I'm going to go with the rest of the show. And we'll also break down some future breeding plans and things of that nature. We'll break down some partnerships that we're working with and some things that we're working with. Some dogs, we're going to try to ensure that there's longevity in the Borderland Kennels. And with that being said, I do want to say again, shout out to South Bottom Kennels. This was a beautiful show. We brought home the big hardware with my little Chapito dog. You guys will definitely meet him later on. And that's how we're going to go through this. So just to explain or to give you the heads up of what's next. Like I said, we're going to bring Abel into the program, and this would be in 5 years after the initial breeding, when we decided to, or 4 years, 4 years after initial breeding, in between 4 and 5 years after the initial breeding, when we decided we're going to move forward with the Achilles base, and it's working out. So once again, I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love, and keep on bulldogging. Keep on bulldogging. And I'm out.
Last week, nigga, it's nothing, nigga, it's nothing. It's nothing, nigga. Nigga, it's nothing. This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here, this shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga.
Slipping, drugging, popping. Jump out the whip like, hey, what's poppin'? What you want, homie? You know we got it. This shit right here ain't nothing gon' top it. Smoking, sniffing, trucking, popping. Jump out the whip like, hey, what's poppin'? What you want, homie? You know we Yeah. Ain't nothing topping this. When I'm on top of this, roll it up, light it up, smoke it up, pass a spliff. I see 3 chicks, and they all thick. Hit the one in the middle quick, wrap it up and split. I'm long gone, oh I'm so blown. All day long, I lost another phone. Damn yo, I am a rolling stone. That's so stoned with a pocket full of dough. I'm rolling dough, man I'm flown hoes. Yeah yo, so wide it's like I'm shoveling snow. I'm gone on a trip, man, and I don't know how I'm getting home, but I'ma let it roll. I'ma make it last. I hope that we don't crash. I'm picking out my stash, got my girl counting the cash. 10s, 20s, 40s, 50s. Benjamin's a G, cause he's always with me. Hey, smoke, sniff it, chugging, poppin', jump out the whip like, hey, what's poppin'? What you want, homie? You know we got it. This shit right here ain't nothing gon' top it. Smoking, sniffing, trucking, poppin', jump out the whip like, hey, what's poppin'? What you want, homie? You know we got it. This shit right here ain't nothing gon' top it.
I'm sipping on that Armageddon, and I'm almost ready. I'm swerving down the highway, I gotta keep it steady. X got me feeling like I'm flying, plus I'm blowing hard, serving white from cloud 9. Sitting next to God, pass it to me, let it get a hold of me. Mix a shot of anything, I'm faded off of everything. Fuck a DD, I love the thrill of driving fucked up. Plus I'm riding dirty, yeah, your boy Breeze a fucking nut. Non-cocked back and it's sitting in the cup holder. Just in on reach if y'all niggas wanna test a soldier. Assassin riding shotgun, holding a shotgun. I'm holding on the steering wheel like it's the only one. Wow, your boy twisted, and I'm feeling good. Smashing I-10 and I'm headed straight to the hood. Wish a nigga would, I stay on the scene. I'm down for whatever, cause it's fam over everything.
Jump out the